Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Stonehearth stream. I'm Matt Malley. Make sure you guys can hear me. Awesome. Cool. So, for tonight's stream, I realized for the past two times I've been creating work for myself instead of finishing work for myself. So, I'm going to work on this guy that I worked on a couple weeks ago, where he does a little slam attack. So, I'm just going to work on this animation. And it's probably going to be less talky, unless you guys have a lot of questions. But I'm just going to go through the processes, and like talk less, work more. But if you have something to say, at Stonehearth, like don't call me Shirley just did, and that way I'll see the little black thing pop out. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get to working, and please let me know if you got something or you want to say something, or I'm not sure what, so. Or if you have questions about like why I'm doing something a certain way. I also have to apologize, I'm not quite used to this setup. I brought my tablet over here, you can see, but it's a little awkward and the keyboard's strange, so I'll just be doing what I can. I'm sorry for the loud noises coming from right over there. People are playing a game. We had little like congratulatory, I'm not sure what we're celebrating, but it's just like take an hour or two off and have tea and that kind of stuff. Ali made chicken katsu. It's very tasty. But yeah. So let's see. Stream title needs to be changed. I'm not actually sure how to do that. No. Ah. So I'm seeing if this fixes the title. Alright, let me know if the title changed. I'm not sure how many voxels tall her thing is. Let's see. That'll take a minute. No, should have failed. Shouldn't fail. Let's try that again. There we go. That's some weird bug. Save human male. Is there no way to turn on the grid? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I am not sure. I do know that if you unzip your working files, you can actually just open the file in QB. Like, we don't lock our files down at all. So 269th stream. There we go. 269. Rodrigo is here. They're playing a game together. Let's see. So I'm looking at the animation and noticing that the hands are up there by themselves for a second. So what I tried to do with the face is I'm trying to create a smear frame effectively. So the difference between here, here, and here, it kind of like smears across the position where it was. I'm trying to open the mouth to do that. I don't have scale, so I can't do any more than that. The problem is, I think the head works. The problem is the hands are left there, and so the idea is you're like, ah, smash. they're kind of just up there by themselves, and so when you watch it, your eyes just catch them floating. But maybe I'm not gonna worry about it now. I might worry about it later. Alright, so I'm gonna save and save again as Bezier. And I'm going to transition to Bezier curves. Autos and non-readed. And save and read. So this is animation, synchronization, hard to make, like two different entities working together at the same time. Yes, absolutely. So there's actually two problems. One is on my side. You're effectively animating twice as much. And if you have two characters, let's see, make sure you can see my hands. I can't see myself. Okay, so if you have two characters, and they're like, hello, hello, and then they want a high five, and you're like, touch right there, and it's like, great, they touched right there. Now the problem is, if I want to adjust any part of animation for this guy, then like maybe he goes to reach in and it's too soon, and then this guy goes to reach in and it's too late, and now you have to adjust both. So it's painful. The other side of it is, on the engine side, like when I animate them in the scene, I would just have two there. But when the engine is there, it's actually two separate entities. They don't know the other one exists. So then you would say, okay, well, both of you play your animation, and you have to key those up somehow. And actually, our first pass of animations, conversations, would not do that. And it became very limiting. So we're going back and retouching the conversation system so that it does. And hopefully we'll see that soon. But it'll be, I don't know, a month, a couple weeks at least. Bruno Suprema, you're planning an octopus enemy? That'd be cool. Bruno, are you the one doing the archipelago mod? Yeah, we've talked about doing high fives and hugs and like friendly family type things. They're not easy. So one thing that is similar but easier would be like petting an animal. So there's actually a couple problems here. There's always multiple problems. But one issue is you don't want to make a separate animation for petting every type of animal, just because it takes a while. The less animations you have to make, the more money you're saving, basically. The more time and effort and money that you're not spending doing that. So if you can have one animation for all animal pets, or like small, medium, large, or something like that, then you save time. Anyway, even if you did just one, so there's two characters interacting, it would still be a little easier if you think of it like, instead of, let's high five. So it's like reach in, touch, and reach out, right? So instead of that like instant moment where it has to match, instead, like this is a dog, this is a person, the dog can come up, the person can reach down and say, hello dog, and pat him on the head, and then the dog walks away. Now the important part there is the dog would be controlled by the computer, and the dog would just stand here, and the person would reach down and pat something, right? It could be a rock, it doesn't matter. What matters is that height. So the human and the animal are the exact same distance apart always. So if you have a giraffe or something, there's a long neck, he would reach his head down, and then the human would pat it. But the giraffe's head would have to be that exact location. But that's easier than a high five, right? Because then you could say, whatever you're doing, animal's doing, it must be at this location for the duration of this animation. So that would be a little easier. Alright, so let's see how bad this looks. And I'm going to have to redo this because I messed up. I didn't add keys throughout. That's not terrible. Excuse me. So first thing I'm noticing is that he needs to slam on the ground. Boom. He needs to sit there for a second, which I thought no, I didn't. He slams. It's like getting up. Yeah, there needs to be like 30 frames of nothing, or like him like. The small box. This one is what he's talking about. That is our ATT control. Sorry, ATT over control. So this is, where's the... ATT over cog. Cog is center of gravity, which I guess we don't have. This is the root control. We don't really have a cog, that's interesting. Stupid on my part. But anyway, this is the ATT over the cog, which is over the center of gravity, which when I'm making this with a script, it is at the center of the model, and then I can adjust it wherever. And it's also like, I think it's 3 halves above it or something. It doesn't matter. Puts it above the model in the center of the model, and ATT means attachment. So now when we do our hearts or our hungers or our whatever thought bubbles, they all attach to this now, instead of before they would attach to the head of a model. So the head actually is down here at the bottom of the neck, and so this creates several problems where they would attach it here and then translate it upwards, so it would be like floating above my head, and then they do something called billboarding, which says this thing, the heart for example, always face the camera. Now the problem is it's offset from here, so this is where it's rotating. So if you look at me from the front, great. If you look at me from the top, it translates behind me, so like that, and it's still facing up at the camera, which is now looking down. So which is fine really, but the problem comes in when you have 5 or 10 Earthlings around, or you have a wall right behind me or something. Those things disappear, and then it doesn't work. So I actually added this ATT over cog a while ago, but we just implemented it. Actually, I think it's out to you guys. I'm not 100% sure, but if not, it will be very soon. You will not notice the difference, so you shouldn't. If you do, then it means I messed up. But it will mean that you will now see hearts and things. All those things that used to get obstructed by walls and things now will be visible, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, I'm adding time when he hits the ground. Do I want more frames? I think all my frames are good. Sorry, keys. Normally I like to add keys for every key that something had a key on it. I key everything else, just at this beginning process, because normally going to Bezier messes it all up. But off-center heart for damaged doors. Yes, sort of. So doors actually had a head bone, and it was like set in a weird place, which was really strange. And so now they have an ATT over a cog that's, again, off in a weird place. But at least the there's no more offset and translation thing going on, so that's good. Actually, to be clear, there is still an offset, but it's very, very small. So it's like, well, if it's attached to my head, like I think hunger is like a little below, and then like heart is a little bit above, just so they don't overlap on top of each other, I think. But yeah. Temporary textures. Oh, I missed this. Maybe something could be kicked up for a moment to show. I'm not sure what I mean. What you mean by kicked up, Geocore? Place some temporary textures on the ground like cracks. So temporary textures on the ground like cracks That specifically, not the shockwave. That is called a decal, which we don't have. It's when you take a texture of some sort and you project it onto whatever is nearby, and that is called a decal material, I think. But it's just a texture on the ground. We don't have that technology. It is something I've requested and we want, but I'm not sure when we'll do it, or get around to it. The shockwave particle is something we can do, and I probably will do. Just not right now. It's a separate step of the process, and I want to make sure that this is working before I go do the VFX. Because like maybe I get I get done with this animation, and then it's like, you know what? This was a waste of time. I want it to do like a double slam or anything. There's a million things that could happen between now and when I'm ready to do VFX. Bye, Bruno. Sorry your internet's being low. What engine? We are our own proprietary engine. I believe we started with something called Horde 3D, but it's ours now, yeah. Oh, bounce. Okay. So I do try and have a bounce. I can exaggerate it. So he slams down and then he pops up just a little bit. I can exaggerate that though. I think the bigger problem. So before we go doing that, what's going on? There we go. Let's make his slam matter, because that's the bigger problem right now. So let's take this and go from, oops, 30 to 60. I'm not actually sure how many I should do, but 26 to 56. No? Yes? No? Oh, I clicked on that thing. There we go. Okay. So that's too long. But now his pop is noticeable. I like that. He feels heavy, which I think is good. Come on. I don't really like my liftoff. But I do like the slam. It makes him feel like he's like heavy, still has a little bit of reaction to his own impact to the ground. I think that's good. But yeah, so let's watch it for timing now. Yeah, I think half that long. Man, this, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm getting like the slightest bit of lag and it's a little annoying. Let's do 2/3. No, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it was better before. Combat currently put on the combat put on the shelf? What do you mean by better archer control? Also, I should clarify. I am an artist, so I can answer art questions. I can better answer art questions. I am less likely to be able to answer questions like this or on design or engineering or things like that. But I don't mind taking a shot at it. But tell me what you mean, and I'll give a better idea of what to say. So I'm thinking for this animation he should slam and then do something and then get up. And I'm not sure if the do something should be anything other than like breathe heavy or sigh or like push himself down. The problem is he's just like instantly lifting himself up. It feels really odd. Yeah, like Hylian chicken is saying. Something needs to go in there. So let's see. Slam. And then let's give him like 5 seconds. If I can math. And then about halfway through that, I'm gonna have him. Well, this like split-second lag is really kind of frustrating. Force an archer to stand a certain place and running off to their desired distance. So that's definitely not on the table because I don't think anyone's mentioned it. Sorry, Tobals the Manly is saying being able to force an archer to stand at a certain place instead of them running off to their desired distance. Archers have a max range that they could shoot from, right? So you can tell them, hey, go over here using the green standard. And then you tell them, attack that thing, and then they will do so. But getting them to stand and permanently stay at a certain place is impossible. You can use the defend standard, and that will place an area that they are supposed to stay in. But a specific place we don't do, and I don't think we plan on, because it's pretty limiting. I think the defend tabard is as specific a point that we will get to, I think. But I do know what you're talking about. Sorry, I do know an example that bothers me, like you're saying. So if you have a tower and you have people attacking the tower, I really want to be able to say, you, Mr. Archer, you stay right here. You should have excellent vision. They should have less chance of hitting you. You should have better chance of hitting them. But they just, like, you put a defensive point on top, and they tend to just run to the bottom and shoot. So that is something I've spoken to, I think, Albert or multiple people about, and it is something we want to fix. I'm not sure when that'll be. We're probably just gonna like hit combat specifically at some point. It's not right now. It's not soon, but it will happen. So hopefully that helps. Hylian Chicken, what if you could modify the area of the defensive standard? I'm not sure you need to. Like for the example I just gave with the tower, you put the standard at the top. It appears to be a 2D area, so he should go to the 2D area. If it were a 3D area, then it would make sense that he's allowed to leave. But like that's not quite how it works. So as I said, like, it's something we know is a problem and we want to fix. How we're gonna fix it, I'm not sure. Again, artist, so. Okie dokie. What are we doing? We're looking at his. I don't like that. I don't like how his left arm starts moving before he's up. Because it's like, what's he putting his weight on? I also want to like lean him into this foot. Where's this? Let's see. Yeah. There's lots of problems we know about. It's just, it takes time to do everything, so. At 60, 270. He's moving his foot when it should be. I think the problem. This should probably wait till 65, and then this should get where it's going sooner. Whoops. How did I even do that? Oh, weird. On my machine, if you double click one of these, Notepad opens and wants you to put something in, so having an expression editor open is strange. For these questions about very specific things, like suggestions of what to do with the defense standard, I would say A, post them on the discourse, but B, ask Chris is probably a good one, or any of the engineers, but Chris is a really good one to ask when he's on next, but I think he had the last one, so it'll be like 6-7 weeks. Probably better to go to the discourse, or ask Stephanie. Stephanie does everything. Okay, so translate Y. Welcome, 8-Bit. What are we up to tonight? We are animating little Stoneling, who is started a while ago, and I'm trying to finish something as opposed to make something new. Like last time I was on, I made a fox out of the dog rig, and then the time before that I did this guy. And if I did something else fun and interesting, then I would have 3 things that were unfinished. So I'm going to try and finish this guy, and I might finish. I'm not finishing him in 20 minutes, but I might finish him off air, and the next time I'll like bring the fox back and do something with that. But the idea is not to just create work for myself constantly whenever I jump on the stream, but create something fun and interesting and small and digestible, and then finish it and then move on. And if that means I'm doing the same thing on a few streams, it's fine. It is Mally. Shake his head after hitting the ground? What do you mean, like, boom. And then he's like, like that? Let's see. Let's see what I can do. Sorry, before I add the head shake, I'm trying to make this stuff clean, and it's like a weird pop because I'm doing two different translations. I think I'm going to say, hello, instead of doing this here, I'm going to do it here. Okay, it's gonna be strange, but I just copied that one. Okay, whatever, you're just being weird. Alright. Okay, so actually that'll probably help with the head shake anyway. Alright, so he comes down, slams, then he rocks forward, starting at 31. It's weird, that should be 30. Oh, I did it because it was 5 seconds. That's okay. That's probably way too fast. Yep. Let's try 3 frames instead of 2. Oh, also I messed up. And that's too slow. Kind of liked it faster. Curious, I usually is from Stinkbug5, and I just lost it. Thanks, Moobot. Usually wait for games to update quite a bit before replaying. Trying a while back, while playing after digging out a mine in the sides of a hill and doing some buildings, the game has started lagging quite a bit. Any idea what that was? If it was resolved. No, if I try to source problem decision like this, possibly this is. Stinkbug5, how long ago did that happen to? Also not sure, like, so if it was a long time ago, that was common because there were problems like a year ago or 2 years ago. The game was nowhere near as stable. It could also be a computer problem, so maybe your computer's just not fast enough to keep up with everything. It could also be something called A-star, which was if you wall off your town completely and enemies can't get in, and it was a while ago, enemies would continuously try to, like, with their little brains, how do I get to town, how do I get to town, how do I get to town? And they wouldn't find a way, but they keep asking. And the A-star would get really big. It's just continuously thinking of how to get to town. So, and that's been fixed since. But yeah, there's lots of things it could be. Hillian Chicken says you could throw together a lot of really simple merch, and I'd love it. I agree. I think we could do merch, but we want to focus on the game and make the game good, and then after we're happy with the game, then we'll be doing merchandise stuff. I think. I'm just, so to be clear, I'm an artist on the game, not an art. If we did a merch, I wouldn't work on it. So I don't really know about that. Again, Stephanie would be the one to ask about that, but I don't think we're really considering merch in the near future. It's just too bad. I should bring it up. We have mentioned before. It's like we don't want to do a bunch of merch, but like Ali does some like amazing paintings, and like it'd be nice to be able to get those somewhere. But we've talked about that before. So let's look at this without the curves. Slam. I think there's too long of a pause. There to there. Take a couple frames off that. I do like how he's like leaning forward and he's like, "Rrr." Actually, I think I would like less of a pause at the beginning and like more pause at the end. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm gonna do this though. Come on, Maya. There you go. I think I want more time on his left foot moving backwards. A lot of the Steam trading cards on shirts are the Stonehearth logo. Yeah, like, I'd like to see that kind of stuff too. There's not currently merch that I know about, correct? Bit of a wind up, and then a switch rest. Ultimate Kenny, I do not know what a switch rest is. And I agree the wind up needs work. Oh wait, you want a wind up like a wow wow wow, that kind of thing? That was a question. I want him to do the arm longer, and then maybe not keep his, like, not move his body so fast. So I think that means I grab Ortiz and push it back. So from the head shakes, trade 56. Let's take 56 to 76, which means, I hate math, 63, 56, so add 20, so this goes to 83. That's not math, that's just, that's addition, I should know that. Alright, and then this to 76. Alright, so you guys. Alright, and then that I want to lengthen. It's done at 65. And I want to extend both a little bit. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 3. That feels a little better. Let's make this a little longer. Just so we can see the ending. I see. Oh, Ultimate Kenny, bye. Are you? I'm not sure who's leaving. Sword shirt, coasters ball. We have. It's not merchandise. We have things that we buy for our team, like for wearing as Stonehearth devs, but we don't sell them. Yeah, Stinkbug 5. If it was 2 years ago, then there have been drastic changes. Definitely come back and give us a try. You should be pleasantly surprised, both from a what we have and also from a like performance standpoint. So I like this better. I don't really like the foot moving forward as fast and as much as it does, but I like these like. It feels like he has a little bit of trouble getting up, which I like. Alright, so translation first. Translate Z feels odd. That's probably why. Also, this is too far in. Let's bring that back just a little bit. Yeah, because it feels like he's pushing off, and then he slides, which is good. So, like, not like he's instantly sliding, because then how does it get grip? But he's pushing. Actually, it might go the other way. Slide and then catch. That feels weird. What happened to Tom? Tom has moved on to the other team we have here. They're called Lion, and it's a research and development team. So he's still here. He's actually what we call a stakeholder for Stonehearth. So he still has say in what Stonehearth does, but he doesn't work on Stonehearth. Tom and Tony both went over to Lion. And I don't know which one of them is the evil one. Stinkbug, I agree. I love that kind of stuff. I'm actually playing Astroneer, beautiful game, and I played a lot of it right when it came out, and then I stopped, and then like I've seen they've done 2 like major updates, and so I'm back into playing it again, and like I've been playing until like 12:30 last night, and then waking up to get into work early. So I need to not do that, but I agree, like get into indie games and they'll like release major things over time. I can't wait for their not to talk about their project during our stream, but I can't wait until they do the automated systems that they've been talking about since before they launched. That sounds really cool. And then you just like go to a planet and do a thing, and then you leave, and then the stuff keeps coming to you. That'll be cool. Anyway, no more talking about that. Oh, I type it tall. Yeah. Yeah, Geister, I heard about that. It's not cool. It happens. But this guy. I don't know if I've talked about weird Beziers before, but this is bad. The line should go like this. So now you have a continuous flowing curve, whereas before you go up and down, and then it curves back up, and then it curves back down, and then it curves back up. That's bad. This is always going to look better. Oops. So he places it and pauses just a little bit. I think he needs to react to that. So he places it, and then I kind of want him to like push in. Let's say not there, but here. Just a hair. Not sure if I like that. Nope. Too short. And too much pushing in. Just the tiniest amount. Again, too short. Actually, it might be better at that. Yeah. That feels a little better. Yeah, me too. Alright, something weird going on with the head there. I bet I have some strange rotations. Yep. You see how the head's like catching? That's very odd. I think it's actually the pelvis. Pelvis control with rotations. Yep. Okay, so that looks weird. After doing a lot of animations, you could just see this stuff instantly by looking at the curve slightly. Like, actually, I shouldn't be doing this. You should always look at the overall movement first. So maybe the points are wrong before you start adjusting the curves. Like this is not a good curve. So like this should be here, or this should not that. This should be here, something like that, or like at least like that. But I should check before I just start playing this stuff. So first off, we should be working with rotate Y. That's where I think the problem is, and I don't think that's a big enough problem to be the problem. It could be. Let's see what happens when we fix it. Nope, still looks bad. So the problem is that he's like twisting and then twisting. It's not fluid. I think I might want him to twist sooner. Set, and then he should like. Oops. This is Maya, yeah. Time is up, but I'm gonna keep going for a little bit because I want us to be in a better place. This could also be translation that I'm being stuck on. Yep, it's definitely translation too. So he turns and then he like twists, and you notice there's like little to no translation, and then boom, he translates with little to no rotation, and then he rotates with little to no translation. So that's bad. So let's go back to this. First off, let's look at just translation in this time. Seems hard to animate for... Oh, Stonehearth seems hard to animate for. How do you make sure you get the style right? That's a good question. It's hard to answer. So, what I do is I try and make things feel good. This is the worst answer. I'm sorry. This is a very artist answer. How do I make sure I get the style right? Basically, I act things out, and when I act them out, and I record myself actually on this camera, like I stand back there, so you can see my whole body. So I can see my whole body. I don't show this to anybody. And then I act exaggerated in a way that I think a Hearthling would act. So I try and put myself in their position. They're very cutesy. Like they stomp their feet and they shake their little hands. It's a little childlike, but basically you put yourself in your headspace where that is. And then I show that to people on the team sometimes, or I ask them to act for me, and I record it. And then I just take my own assessment. Does this fit? Does this not fit? We actually had this problem recently where I'm making an excited animation. And it's supposed to be for conversations. They get like a little exclamation point above their head, and they're like, I'm like, but that's actually, I was just acting like we did not want. We don't want. I'm angry. Like I'm ready to beat someone up, or I'm irritated, which is what I ended up animating. I animated irritation, which we didn't want. So we're not throwing it out, but like we push that animation to the side and try it again. And now it's more of, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here? It's like, it's less rah and more like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? So it's important to not be too angry. We are also doing angry emotes, so I have a roar emote, but for the specific... Oops. Excuse me. That was my mother calling. Actually, I don't know what My Sims is. If you're talking about The Sims, yes, we have. We also want to copy them, and Sims is a great game, but they made some strange choices that won't fit for us. So, yeah, first off, we don't want to steal just because it's bad. But whoa, what'd I do? But second off, we don't want to steal just because we're making a different game. We're not trying to make The Sims. We're trying to make Stonehearth. So. Hello. There you are. Okay, what was I doing? I was looking at translation because it was weird. Translate Z, you look like the culprit. So, he like shakes his head. Where are we at? Shakes his head. He starts moving forward, which makes sense because he's like lifting himself up with his backhand. He should like push forward. He might actually need to go forward more, because that's hardly noticeable. And then he shoots back, which that's the culprit. And then he sits still, and then he scoots back some more. So here's the problem right there. Let's move him up like that. And now we have a pretty curve. This is still ugly, but it's okay. So now he pushes himself forward, and then it slowly goes back. That feels better. So here's the thing I generally don't like. I only have one thing selected, but if you notice, the hand and the head both move and stop at the exact same point. I'm sorry, they start at different points, but they end at the same point, and ending at the same point feels bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend that out by 5 frames, and then I'm going to... Oh, that's not what I'm going to do. Apparently copy-paste is broken. I'm not sure why. Let's... Oh, come on. Alright, let's try this the other way. Let's go to 105. There we go. Okay, so then we paste it over there. So now I'm going to isolate this. Translate X. So what I'm going to do is have him go past his movement. That is not noticeable. What is that? Less than 0.1? Let's get rid of that guy. This feels weird already, but let's see what I'm doing. So, to see Translate X, you should look at it in the direction that Translate X is happening. So that kind of feels nice. It settles in. Alright, Translate Y. So, again, look at it in the proper direction. He goes up and down, and then up and down. I don't really like that, it's too much. Down and up. That feels a little better. So here we have our Translate Z from before, so let's fix this guy. We talked about but didn't do. And then pull that down. So he's gonna, again, look in the direction you can see. Okay, he goes. So you can see from here to here, that's almost all Y movement. I don't like that, but I'm on Translate Z right now. So he goes back. And he goes too far, and then he settles in. It's called overshooting and settling. So it's too much, but I do like it better. That feels good. Alright, so let's fix that Translate Y I was having a problem with. That's weird, it doesn't look like... Like there is a lot of Y movement here, but it doesn't look like all Y movement. Could be just because that's the only one moving. What if we take that down and flop it? Sorry, the Z movement was very fast. Okay, so I'm going to save. Go to 6. And then I'm going to do something weird. So, what I'm seeing is that the movement of the hand and the body are very, very quick here, which I don't like. So what I'm going to try and do is do massive surgery. It's good to do this stuff early, because if you wait too long, you're cleaning up a lot more than you intended to. But don't have a problem with before frame 90. But then from 90 to 100, that movement is very, very quick. I'm going to put it to like 105. And there actually aren't that many moving parts here, so I'm just going to do it manually. So there are tools that you can use. There's the retime tool right here. but retimer tends to mess things up there, and I don't want to mess with that. So first off, let's take 100 and put it at 105. And then what's in the middle? Let's see how that did. Feels a little better. Alright, so I'm looking at this guy and seeing that he is settling into the ground. That feels bad. So he shouldn't settle in, he should slam in. He's a foot. He's like, boom, he's got to get his foot down. Actually, the other one should too, but I'm looking at this foot right now. So, let's see. So first off, this translate Y, I think should go a little higher, and possibly, I'll show you. So, a little higher, whoops, just you, a little bit higher. And then I'm also going to put a key on one frame on either side. I'm going to push that frame out, and then pull it down just a touch, so that curves nice. And then I'm going to look at it. No, I'm sorry, and I also need to do this. Boop. I'm going to break it. Break the tangent. Whoa, Y is unhappy. Alright. So there's like, bam. That might be a little too hard. Just back off some. Halfway. Whoa! Someone's like to scratch themselves? Why would they do that? He does not see your comment. Who did I miss? Pakux, if you want to say something to me, so I see it say at Stonehearth, like Hillian Chicken said at Pakux. But what did you... I don't see your question. What are you guys talking about scratching themselves? If they like to scratch themselves. I would think so. They just like grab their foot and do that. Remind me at some point, and maybe I could do that as an idle variation. That sounds cute. Sorry, my mom's blowing me up. Alright, so that feels a little better, but now I'm not liking the rotation because I don't want him to finish rotating like, right when he gets his foot to the ground. That it's cheating. It's lazy. It's not cheating. It's lazy. So I think what's bothering me is the X rotation. What happens if we just flip-flop it? That feels better because he's like putting it down toe first. I kind of want him to hit the ground with his toe. I can. I actually made these into feet. Alright, so instead of doing this, I'm actually going to kill his animation. Okay, so that's a nice soft transition. You can't really tell what's going on. Sorry, I'm not getting rid of the rotation, but I'm reducing it drastically. And then I'm going to do... Hello. I guess it's already visible. Foot roll. Key. And where was... We already have a key there. So then... Yep. So as he brings his foot back, it like lifts also. and then I want him to actually end with his toe up. So just a foot roll. I'm gonna copy and paste. Come on. I don't know what Maya is doing, but it is not behaving. Copy paste should not do that. So now he puts his toe down and then he puts his foot down. A little too even, but that feels much better. Yeah, that feels good. There's a weird pop right here. Right there. Did you guys see it? That is getting stuck on something. Frame 90. Foot bank? Huh. Why am I using foot bank at all? I don't know. Oh. Because foot bank allows it to start moving sooner. So if I get rid of it, which is fine to get rid of, it's starting at 85, whereas the foot doesn't move until 90. So I think I can fix this by, what is it, 85, nothing. So if I take the entire frame 90 and move it to 85, that slows down the movement too, which was feeling really quick again. Yeah, that feels much better. Oh, my head. So, I'm liking it. I don't like how he's slams, shakes head, that feels good, and then he's very still while his arm moves. His only movement in his arm, and actually his whole body freezes for a second there. I think I should give him like a breather, just like a head shake, not head shake, like a dip. I think I'm just gonna take that one. That feels a little better already. Okay, so I think I like that, but not how it's working. So I'm going to make it so that it happens a little sooner and happens throughout the head shake. Oh, people are leaving. I should get done too. It's been an extra 20 minutes. Maybe when getting up from the head shake should add some rotation to the hand, simulating pressure on the earth. Which hand? Yeah. Rulon, which hand are you talking about? The right hand? So like that kind of rotation? So he's like. Tilt forward did a lot for me. Yeah, me too. Coaster's ball. It was just too static before. If you notice at the end, it gets very static too. You like, but I'm not sure if that bothers me enough yet. But okay, so I will say I'm much happier where this is. I think this is now at a point that I can stop. Slammy face. Rawr. Oops. Alright, so let's save. And I'm going to push my work. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm just making sure I don't lose my work. I'm not sure if I spelled that correctly, but that's okay. Commit and push. Pushed. And I'm done. Alright. Thank you guys very much for coming to the stream. I really appreciated the help that you guys gave, and the suggestions and the questions were fun. So yeah, thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I gotta figure out how to turn it off.